Let me start by talking about the American eagle.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has a left wing, it has a right wing. The left wing is the problem-solving wing. The right wing is, yeah, but can we afford it? As long as both sides are working, that eagle flies straight and it soars. The articles are like chapters in a book.
That's a document that's supposed to represent the whole nation. But how do you represent the whole nation?
It was genius. They used jealousy and they spread power out horizontally and vertically. It's the failure part that people don't like. Actually, that's what drives us forward. Step away from I agree or I don't agree and just look at the principles involved. We're all born equal, but after that, all bets are off. You are the author of your own life.
Last week on Life and Times.
The Declaration of Independence is a statement of belief. You won't find those in the Constitution. That's why it's boring. The Declaration is really interesting.
It's a lot more than a document, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is a culture. It's a culture of liberty and freedom. And America's greatest export, the founders said, is our Constitution. But they meant the culture as well. Everybody's free. Anybody's free to swing their fist, but they're not at liberty to hit my nose. So the Constitution sets those beautiful boundaries and says you can do all these things, but you can't infringe on the rights of other people. That's the boundary of liberty. So that's why we are a land of liberty. We're a land of maximum boundaries that protects one another's rights.
The 4th of July, the Declaration of Independence. These go hand in hand with the US Constitution. But some say the Constitution is out of touch with our times, while others say it is what makes America America and what should protect America. Well, to get my constitutional facts straight, I took a tea time lesson from an expert. Author of your own life, author of your own happiness.
Yes, I am, literally and figuratively. Yeah, we should all be the author of our own lives, and we decide how we want that last chapter to go.
Oh, the last chapter.
Right, and we need to work and build towards that. And of course we'll have obstacles, and we may have disasters, but still, we can write our own book, and we should.
I've read some of Paul Skousen's books, but his latest book is new to me.
So a lot of people have written books on the Constitution, but people are afraid of the Constitution, so therefore they never get to those books. So I said, we need a gateway book. So
That's the one, yes.
this little one is called How to Read the Constitution and the Declarations. I also had fun with the glossary. There's a lot of words they use that we don't use anymore.
I can't say that I'm scared of the Constitution, but it does sound like heavy reading. So I wanted Paul to get me prepped for the learning.
What a beautiful day.
It is, and really glad to be here in Utah.
This is a great state to live in, and this is the best time of year too.
What I see in the city, what I see in New York is not what is happening necessarily all around the country. And what's fascinating about that, coming straight into the US Constitution, is that that's a document that's supposed to represent the whole nation. But how do you represent the whole nation when there's just such a diverse states, peoples? It's quite amazing to think that there even is such a thing. Can there be something that can represent everyone?
That's part of the big debate and discussion they had when they put this whole thing together in the Constitutional Convention. They said, we do have all these diverse opinions and viewpoints and religions and et cetera. Can you really make it work? And the answer was a republic. A republic is representation that's put into place by the people they represent. So you have a minority group, you have different cultures, everything. They elect their own representative. That's why it works.
The republic. That's not really a term that I hear much about. Is that something that's fading away? I mean, because you teach this.
Right, and most people don't understand it. A democracy, they say, hey, we're a democracy. Actually, no, we're not. Democracy means one man, one person, one vote. In ancient Greece, they would have a jury that would be hundreds of people, if not thousands. For the government to do everything, everybody had to participate. That's democracy.
But aren't we voting?
We do, but we vote for a representative. That means that's a republic. It's a representative form, so you elect a delegate, and that delegate participates with others, and you go on up the chain. In your state, you'll elect a state legislator, and that individual will meet with a couple hundred other people once a year, and they will extend their will up into the federal level. And when the Constitution was first written, that representative was the senator. That representative would then represent your state in Washington, D.C. So when we elect them popularly, like we do our House of Representatives, we've circumvented that whole representation of our states and our states' concerns.
Okay, that's a lot of information for me to process. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, should it? Because this should be something that should be fairly commonly known.
Right.
And the fact that you have to explain it to people is kind of fascinating in itself. To me, seems like a kind of fundamental issue for an American to understand.
I ask my students, what are the last 3 bills that our state legislature passed? Could you name for your state?
No.
No. And guess what? I can't for mine either. You know why? You and I are busy. That's not our passion, our job, our responsibility. But it is for our legislators. Would you rather not have an individual that does know what the 3 bills were last passed? Wouldn't you rather have your senator chosen from that group of informed, involved people?